We think a lot of you. And even
Please do. There's sheet cable, little sleeper sofa. You don't need to go home. She can get through. Yeah, literally.
Yes, I like to. I think that's somebody's perspective on it. Yeah, we'll do it again. Good to see you.
There's so few people on the left side that it's like scary, shouldn't it?
Oh, really? I wonder.
Yeah, I noticed a couple meetings ago, staff started sitting on the right side.
They were hiding. They were. I want to see your smile.
That's so
I need some blood.
dry up my grass. And he ran into some she probably hasn't seen him in years, but that's so fun. Yeah, time flies.
We lost her.
I know. Pick him up. That was stable.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to call the Peoria Public Schools Board of Education meeting for January 8th to order. Would you please call the roll?
Dr. Davidson, how many was? Here. Mr. Adler?
Here.
Ms. Ruffin?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Mr. Walter?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mrs. Jackson?
Here.
Mrs. Ross?
Here.
7 present, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would like to, first of all, ask for a moment of silence for Mr. Ken Turner's mother who passed, and also Dr. Elizabeth, what we call Miss Z, her father who passed this past over the holidays. So I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, are there any announcements? Mr. Wilson.
The Peoria Public School Foundation will host the third annual 365 breakfast this Thursday, January 11th at Woodruff Career and Technical Center, 1800 Northeast Peoria, beginning at 7:15 a.m. The breakfast is free, but please RSVP by Tuesday morning by calling 309-713-3608. Breakfast will be prepared by the WCTC Culinary Arts students. The 365 breakfast showcases the work of the PPS Foundation, including classroom grants, student scholarships, Horizons Club, and Adopt a School. PPS Director of Social Emotional Learning, Derek Booth, will speak about his work and its impact on PPS students. Dr. Dave Moulet Karat also will speak.
Ms. Jackson?
The Peoria Public Schools is seeking energetic and responsible adults for a variety of part-time and full-time positions. Part-time positions include cafeteria staff, bus drivers, crossing guards, tutors, and athletic coaches. Full-time positions include administrative and clerical positions, social workers, certified and non-certified tutors, speech pathologists, teachers' aides, and special education teachers. Opportunities are available for substitute teachers, including long-term assignments, and for substitute teachers' aides. Visit www.peoriapublicschools.org and click on the Employment tab for a complete list of available positions and application requirements. Join the remarkable team and help us chart a positive course for the young people in our community. Washington Gifted Middle School applications. Just a reminder that Washington Gifted School applications are due Friday, January 12. For information, please visit the school's website or www.peoriapublicschools.org/gifted.
Mr. Walker?
Saturday University. Just a reminder that Saturday University will begin for second semester starting next Saturday, January 13th, from 9 to noon at Glen Oak. There are new openings for sixth grade students. The program's focus is primarily on math. If you are interested in your sixth grader participating, please call our curriculum department at 672-6758 or email Joan, joan.bastian@psd150.org. Our third grade program is still full and remains focused on reading and math. This semester, we will be implementing project-based learning, including bridge building and roller coaster design. Students may not miss more than one Saturday University this semester in order to attend the next field trip. We also have Saturday University t-shirts ready for students at our event on January 13th.
Mr. Shaw?
Thank you. The 5 Essentials Survey, a reminder to parents, students, and teachers to go online and complete the 5 Essentials Survey before Wednesday, January 31st. 5 Essentials is an evidence-based system designed to drive improvement in schools nationwide. Survey measures changes in the school organization and provides individualized and actionable reports for each school. All pre-K through 12th grade teachers and all 4th through 12th grade students can take the survey, which takes just 20 minutes. One parent in each family is also asked to complete a shorter survey, which takes about 10 minutes. The survey measures the 5 essentials of effective schools, which are effective leaders, collaborative teachers, involved families, supportive environment, and ambitious instruction. The surveys are completely anonymous. Please take the time to give us your feedback by logging on to survey.5-essentials.org/Illinois. You can also find a link to the survey on the district's website. And then boundary waiver applications. The boundary waiver application for the 2018-2019 school year opened today and runs through February 28th, 2018. You can find information about the process and the link to the online application by visiting peoriapublicschools.org/choice. Boundary waivers allow a student residing anywhere within the Peoria Public Schools boundaries to apply for attendance to any other school within the district, provided the school hosts his or her grade level. Applications are granted based on the projected number of seats available in the student's grade level at the requested school. High school students, with the exception of those applying for and interviewing for a JROTC program, are not eligible for boundary waivers. Boundary waiver placement is a privilege, and therefore discipline and attendance are taken into consideration for placement and renewal each year. District bus transportation is not available for boundary waiver placements. If boundary waiver students are not able to be at school regularly and on time, they may be required to enroll in their home school based on the family's home address. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ruffin?
SAT prep workshops. High school juniors will be taking the SAT this spring, which is mandated by the state of Illinois as a high school graduation requirement. The SAT date is set for April 10th. To assist students with improving their scores, a student's counselor can assist with resources. However, there are some local opportunities we want parents and students to be aware of. You can find flyers from the Carver Center and from Bradley University on our district website, and they were also sent via email to all parents of juniors. Both organizations will be offering SAT study sessions in the coming months. Bradley's program begins in February and will be held on Tuesday evenings and includes a charge. The Carver Center's program is offered on Tuesday afternoons from 3:30 to 4:30, starting January 31st. This program is free for our students. Parents and students are encouraged to work together to prepare for this important college entrance exam and utilize these extra resources.
Dr. Bob?
Hola, buenas noches, bienvenidos a todos. Good evening, welcome everyone. No se pierdan la emoción este jueves, el 11 de enero, cuando Manual Academy Lady Rams y Richwood High School Lady Knights jueguen el 2018 shootout, 2018 shootout for a cure at Manual Academy. So don't miss the excitement this Thursday, January 11th, when Manual Academy Lady Rams and Richwood High School Lady Knights meet for the 2018 shootout for a cure. Manual Academy. The JV game empieza a las 5:30, begins at 5:30, and the varsity game a las 7 starts at 7 p.m., the varsity does. The evening will include raffles, a half-court shot contest, and a special dance routine from the Manual dance team. Team members from both schools will honor breast cancer survivors at the beginning of the starting lineup. Manual and RHS students and staff are raising money and awareness all week with the goal of raising $1,000 per school. Donations can be made all week at the schools and at the gate on Thursday. A Susan B. Coleman representative will visit both schools this week with the Wheel of Knowledge. Students can test their knowledge of breast cancer and write the names of loved ones who have passed away, are currently fighting breast cancer, or are survivors on pink ribbons, which will be posted at the schools. Wow. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department is hosting a team dinner for both teams at Avati's on Wednesday evening and have donated a gift basket for the raffle. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women in the United States. African American women under the age of 45 have a higher incidence of breast cancer than white women. Hispanic, Latina women are more likely than white women to be diagnosed with late-stage breast cancer. Both African American and Hispanic, Latina women have lower survival rates than white women. Thanks to the women basketball players and coaches at Manual and Richwoods for their extra work for Shootout for a Cure. Come on out to Manual this Thursday to support their efforts.
Mr. Adler?
The first annual Schoolhouse Open is the perfect cure for cabin fever. So far, 10 teams have signed up for this combination mini golf pub crawl tournament in Peoria's Warehouse District on Saturday, January 27th. All benefits go to the Peoria Public Schools Foundation. Registration deadline is Saturday, January 20th. Check-in for the event starts at 10 a.m. at Kelleher's Irish Pub and starts at 11. Holes have been constructed by parent volunteers and our own Manual Academy manufacturing class, as well as the Woodruff Career and Technical Center construction class. We've got lots of participating businesses, including Time, Sugar, Rodell's, Zion Coffee, and Bearded Owl Brewing, as well as the Peoria Riverfront Museum and the Junior League of Peoria. So you can enter your team of 4 for $240 or enter as an individual for $60. Registration includes 2 beverage tickets and a t-shirt, as well as an awesome time drinking and doing mini golf on a Saturday.
Mini golf pub crawl. That's great.
For more information, please go to www.peoriaschoolhouseopen.org.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Is that everybody? Oh.
There is currently a special running. Any staff member that registers a team can be entered in a raffle for a half-off registration if you do it in this week. So,
How much did you say registration?
How much was it for a team of 4?
$240.
Okay. Tonight, is that everything? Okay. Tonight's Community Contribution Award recognizes a community leader that has spent the last several years of his career introducing his trade to our students. Here to introduce tonight's winner is just one of the people who he has worked closely with over the period of time. Peoria Public Schools Foundation Community Engagement Coordinator, Ms. Trish O'Shaughnessy.
Thank you. Come on up, Kevin. Dr. Karat, President Ross, and school board members. Thank you so much for offering me this opportunity to publicly honor Kevin Carter with the Peoria Public Schools Community Contribution Award. Now, if you know me, you know that I am rarely at a loss for words. But I don't think I have the vocabulary to adequately express my gratitude and admiration for Kevin. I've wrote a few words down, and I'd like to read about what a huge impact Kevin has had on our students. 5 years ago, the Peoria Public School Foundation and the school district decided to embark on a new-to-us idea to bring in a regular amount of community volunteers into the middle school classrooms, to have them describe their careers, give words of advice, to make connections, and hopefully share personal lessons learned with the students that would last a lifetime. We sent out a call to various parts of Peoria, and one of the very first to reach out was Palm Tricon's Kevin Carter. And I laugh because 5 years later, I can never remember what Palm Tricon stands for, even though I've introduced Kevin to hundreds of students. Kevin has been a part of a small group that has been instrumental in the development of the Horizons program that we have today. Kevin was one of our very first speakers, helping us set a model that we would use for hundreds of speakers that have followed. He introduced us to others who wanted to be part of the Horizons program, provided materials for possible inclusion into curriculum, and always had solid advice for soft essential skills to introduce to the students that would have real-world benefits. He has spoken to every Horizons group of students for the last 5 years, becoming a favorite speaker for the students. In addition to his important messages of grit, perseverance, and tenacity, he also has had a lot of fun with the kids. I know his magic tricks will always be remembered. Beyond Horizons, Kevin has worked to bring an understanding of the trades to all students in Peoria, being part of the coordination of the 8th grade trade showcase, sitting on numerous chamber education advisory boards, and teaching Peoria's future workforce. And that is just such a small amount that Kevin has done to introduce the trade professions to the children in Central Illinois. Kevin, we are so grateful for all that you have done for the children in Peoria Public Schools. I am personally so thankful for all your help, commitment, advice, and support for the Foundation and the Horizons program. I wish you well on your retirement, And I am holding you to the promise that you will still continue to be a part of Horizons. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can say anything.
On
you
behalf
want.
of the.
What, no money?
Would you like to have a word, would you like to have a word or two, sir?
I would just like to say I'm very happy to do it, and I love coming and talking to the students. And two things I always leave them with is, one, somebody is always watching you. So you always want to be doing your best because you never know when that's going to take place. And the second thing I tell them, the old adage of people say it's who you know. It's not who you know. It's who knows you and what they know about you that gets around pretty quick. So I really appreciate this a lot. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, and on behalf of the Board of Education, we appreciate your contribution to our students and families, and we want to thank you by Dr. Karat presenting to you a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you, President Ross. And everything Mrs. O'Shaughnessy mentioned and read, it's true. Countless times I have gone into buildings and I run into Kevin. And we'll chat for a little bit, so we appreciate you so much. And good luck on the retirement.
Yeah.
Happy fishing, but as Trish said, hopefully you'll come back. We do have a cute, it's small,
I
but I
like
think
that.
it's personalized.
That's
It says
nice.
Kevin Carter, Community Contribution Award, Peoria Public
Very
Schools.
nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
You want to introduce?
Pictures?
Thank you so very much.
Who did you bring?
This is my wife, Mary. She's a retired teacher, been retired 5 years now, so.
All right, welcome, Mary. Thank you. Next on our agenda is a student showcase. Ms. Ruffin.
Family members, fellow students, Principal Eric Thomas and Knoxville Center for Student Success staff, PPS administrators, and the principals from the 3 traditional high schools gathered at Woodruff Career and Technical Center on Thursday, December 14th for the graduation celebration of students who have completed their credits at KCSS and earned a diploma by the end of the first semester. 29 students earned diplomas at the Knoxville Center for Student Success mid-year graduation. The stories relayed by KCSS graduates at the school's 7th mid-year graduation ceremony had many of the audience in tears. Here, to introduce you to 3 of the special graduates, is Principal Eric Thomas.
Thank you. I was just going to sit in the back and just smile because I didn't know I was on the agenda, so pardon the non-tie. Truly, it's my pleasure to, first of all, Dr. Karat, President Ross, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform. It's my pleasure to announce or to introduce 2 of our students, Jatavia Johnson and Tremaine Taylor. Just share a few words with you about our school and just their celebration. 2 days for me are the happy days for me. The mid-year graduation and then the end of the year graduation. But the mid-year graduation is a special time for our students. And I'd like to just say, I don't like to use the word alternative, but I do like to use the word different because our school just allows our students to get to the end destination in a different way. So with that being said, I'll call, I think, Tremaine up first, followed by Jatavia to share some words in regards to the graduation.
At first, when Principal Thomas, when I first got the call to share the words, I originally had plan to write a speech, but I soon come to realize that the best speeches are what come from the heart. So originally, when I first came to Knoxville, I am a very tech-savvy individual. Whenever my mom ends up asking me about something from the computer, I'm the first one she asks. And the one thing that the students, actually absolutely despise about KCSS is about giving up their phones. The phones, I realized soon, were a major distraction for me. And giving up my phone was like one of the hardest parts about going. And without my phone, I realized that how much more I paid attention, because when I had my phone going to other schools, I ended up paying more attention to that than what was actually happening around me. And actually, now that I think about it, if it wasn't for my lack of attention, I wouldn't have had the amazing opportunity to learn something new and attend the great school that Mr. Thomas is running. It's a tough experience at first, but as I said before, it's a great school. And I also want to thank my mom for putting me in the school, pushing me to go, and also my grandma who has passed away, because her and my mom were the biggest, like the top people on my list for those pushing me. Also Mr. Thomas, who isn't wearing a suit this time. But they were the ones pushing me. It's just the staff there also happened to, even though some of the students may get on their nerves at times, they still smile and push us to do our best. So at the end of this, I want to say thank you, Ma, and also thank you, Mr. Thomas, for allowing me to continue to go to your school.
Hello. This is my first time doing something like this, so I didn't write down a speech either. My experience there, I've been going to Knoxville for 2 years. I started my junior year. My freshman year was at Manual Academy. Then I transferred to Central and then back to Manual, and that's when I ended up running into my cousin. She told me about Knoxville and how it was a smaller environment, the classes was smaller, and when I got there, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And when I found out about the phone situation, it made me not want to go. I like my phone. I like having my phone in my hand. I like texting a lot, so me not having my phone, that was a big issue for me. My senior year, I found out that my dad was sick. He has alcoholism, and cancer is a very big thing on my dad's side of the family. So that kind of pushed me to make myself work better. I started slacking when I found out I was 4 weeks pregnant. I'm now 13 weeks pregnant, and with the help of Mr. Thomas and the staff for making me get up and actually come to school, I was able to pass and graduate early. So my whole experience with Knoxville, period, was like a journey. It was a journey. And me personally, with my dad being sick and now I have to give birth to a baby boy or girl, is going to help me in the long run to push my baby to go further, because if it wasn't for Mr. Thomas or any of the staff, I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am now. I am now taking online college classes for LPN nursing, and I plan on working harder to advance myself into what I can do to make myself better. Just the slacking in I had bad grades when I got there. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Thank God I was able to do it, because if it wasn't for the school and for everything that they've done to help me out and push me to just do my best, I probably wouldn't even be standing in front of all you today. So with everything that I've been through and me being emotional about it, it's just really a big thing for me, and he helped me a lot. So I'm happy that he didn't give up on me, because usually I would expect for someone to, and he stuck by my side. So thank you. I appreciate it.
We have another, is that it?
Is it just two?
Just two.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Parents, are there any parents? I heard him say his mother. Parents in the audience, would you stand? Thank you.
Ms. Ross, at the graduation, I mentioned to them that they've only just begun, so there's no stopping, right? A lot of them are going on to either Illinois Central College or some other, they're further in their education, their experiences. So you're talented, and we believe in you, so keep plugging away and keep your eyes on the prize. You've just started, right? Just like Kia just mentioned, she's taking online classes and LPN. That's awesome. You can do it, and guess what? There are tons of jobs, lots of opportunities in that area. Tremaine, I know you're going to be successful. The funny thing is, there was so much more, I guess, in the moment at the graduation. It was, you guys were so passionate, not that you were, but they literally had me crying. And I would say I'm a very tough person, but that was very inspirational, that graduation ceremony. So thank you, Mr. Thomas, and your staff. And as Mr. Thomas said, there is a place within Peoria Public Schools for the Knoxville Center. So, yeah, one size doesn't fit all, for sure. And that's what really touched me with the messages. And the board, you were able to pick up a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So thank you, students, and thank you, parents, and yeah.
All right. Dr. Ball.
All right, I'll leave you alone. Those of you who know me know that one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to the things that we do here as a board, that we spend money on here as a board, that we devote resources to, my bottom line is, show me. Show me the efficacy of what you have done. Show me the outcomes, show me the results. Mr. Thomas and his staff and teachers and all the people that work at the Knoxville Center for Student Success have done more than show us numbers. They've shown us graduates. Congratulations.
Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you. All right, awards and recognition. Most improved attendance for November.
Thank you, President Ross. I have one of my mentees. She's shadowing me, and unbeknownst to her today, she's going to assist me with this presentation. So, Ms. Shaw, are you up to it? Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. I see we have, is Ms. Cobbs here from Valeska Hinton? No? At least we have two.
Yeah. Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to shadow Dr. Karat for the evening, and I'm here to present the title for the most improved attendance in comparison to the November of 2016 to November of 2017. Peoria Public Schools principals, classroom teachers, interventionalists, parents, and students are continuing to work extra hard and make improvements on student attendance, and it is showing. In comparison to November 2017 to November 2016, Sterling Middle School earns third place, raising attendance from 92.79% in November of 2016 to 94.86% in the November of 2017, a gain of 2.07%.
Sterling. Someone from Sterling.
Miss Lane is here. Hey, Miss Lane. Congratulations.
Thank you. We've been working very hard to try to get our students, have them see the importance of coming every day, and now our next step is to get them on time every day. So this weather doesn't help, though.
It will get better.
Yes.
Thank you.
Valeska Hinton earns second place, raising their attendance rate from 90.47% in November of 2016 to 93.16% in November of 2017, a gain of 2.69%. Congratulations to Ms. Cobb's team. And in first place, gets to win this nice bragging rights banner, is Peoria High School. Again, made the greatest leap with attendance rates up to 4.17% from 82.09% in 2016 to 86.26% in 2017. This marks the third month in a row that Peoria High School has earned the top spot, averaging a 5.06% per month.
Great.
Superintendent Karat, Board President Ross, and all board members, thank you again for this honor. Again, as you already know, I'm a very proud principal of Peoria High, but it takes more than me. It's our entire staff that do an amazing job. Calling parents, going to houses, I mean, they're doing a lot, so we're really trying to increase our attendance. We have a long way to go. We still haven't reached our goal, but we're working on it, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we also want to recognize our 95% or higher schools. Following November, we have 6 schools left in the 90% club, maintaining a 95% attendance rate or higher for 2 months of the year. Congratulations to Rolling Acres Middle School, Hines Primary School, Charter Oak Primary School, Washington Gifted Middle School, Northmore Primary School, and Keller Primary School. And
Is that the
Great job,
95%
thank you.
club? 95% club? Yeah, she did a better job than I did, right? And then
You
awesome.
would have been on all that.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Ms. Ross. And that was last minute.
I know.
Nice.
That's great. Thank you.
Great job, Annette.
Okay.
I told her 5 minutes ago
Oh.
you were going to present this.
Wow. We're at district presentations now.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman. Great job.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lane, thank you very much.
Dr. Wilson?
Good evening again, President Ross, Dr. Crowd, and board members. I put at your seats an updated document. You did receive this document Friday evening, I believe, or in your board packet, but there's just one little minor change, and I'll point that out in just a minute. But just to refresh our memories, a lot of this is the same that I shared with you December 18th, but the first page and the half of the second page is really just a journey of where we've been. So this is really a historical perspective of
We started this to support the goal of balancing the district's education fund. That is really, was our purpose, and we also wanted to envision the PLC times at the high school in order to accomplish that goal. So as I said before, we had a committee that was brought together, and we met quite a few times in the fall. And after the first organizational meeting, we brought in PFT member leadership as well to help us get the teacher perspective. So again, to remind you that our 6 parameters, every time we had options, we always came back to these 6 parameters, and they're listed. Those kept us kind of targeted with where we wanted to go. So after we met several times, we looked at 4 PLC delivery options that we shared with you at the November 27th board meeting, and we came up with a proposal that has bullets at the bottom of the first page and the top of the second page. And that was for a savings of $500,000, and that was an outcome of a semester's worth of work. What we did after that time, after we presented to you, is we had another subcommittee that we brought together, and this committee was comprised of a smaller group of district administrators from that first committee, also PFT leadership, and also members of the Peoria high schools, all 3 of them with the principals. And the unique piece of this is we had core and non-core representatives. And when I say core, I'm talking English, social studies, science, and math. And what's significant about that is the fact that up until this time, PLCs were only offered to core teachers at the high school level. So the non-core, anyone that did not teach those 4 subjects, were not afforded the opportunity to spend time collaborating with their colleagues. And so one of the pieces that's exciting about this is this proposal has an opportunity for all teachers at the high school level to collaborate, and they all get to participate in PLCs, which is pretty powerful, and we're excited about that. So the second committee, when we met, we were going through the proposal, the November 27th proposal, and really one of the teachers said, hey, I've got this idea. What about this plan? And so that's actually the proposal that's in front of you. We started picking that apart, using our parameters. And so this proposal, after 2 meetings, we came to a consensus. And then we brought that forward to Dr. Karat and some district administrators with PFT leadership as well. And then we have a modified proposal in front of you. The other unique thing about this is that our teacher found a way to save more money. Our proposal that we spent a semester working on was $500,000 savings, and we were pretty excited. But this new proposal, we are estimating that we will have a savings of $750,000. So it really brought us more in line with a bigger savings, as well as making sure that all teachers had an opportunity for PLCs. So with that being said, we still have some work to do. We're hoping to bring this to you for an approval at our next board meeting, but we want to make sure that we have communicated this with everyone. So at our January 5th Institute Day, which was Friday, we had a document which is the professional learning community proposal final recommendation, the one that looks like this with the gray box. I guess it's your page 3, I suppose. And we made that available for all principals to distribute and discuss with their staff if needed. And so that is communicated. And the other thing that we are going to do is we are also going to visit with the 3 PTOs from all the high schools. And we are going to share this exact document with them and walk through kind of the history and then the changes, and then the principals will also share the what now. So how are we going to implement this? So what's in front of you is, once again, is the primary and middle school. There will be no changes to what they currently know right now. So there will be no changes for them. And then in the bold gray box is really the proposed changes, and those are the core teachers begin teaching a 6th course. So those teachers that had PLC, they will pick up an additional course in place of their current PLC period. So most teachers will teach 6 periods. There's still a few exceptions that could apply. All the teachers will keep their prep period per contract. We will have a 1-hour early student dismissal 1 day each week. And one of the changes that was made to this from the time that you had it on Friday to now is we removed the 1:30, because what we're hoping is that if you don't put specific times, that this document can be more flexible and stand the test of time. So we removed that. So one of those changes, instead of 1-hour early student dismissal 1 day each week, at 1:30, we just took off the time for the flexibility. Also, the teachers will meet 1 day each week for 60 minutes for PLC. And as I said before, a feature of this that's exciting is core and non-core get to participate. Then we also have some professional development opportunities for our school improvement days, and those will be allowed to be used as PLC. So instead of just doing departments, they can do some cross-departmental, they can do some SEL PLCs, so they have some flexibility, which will be nice. And then there's no changes to the monthly faculty meetings. So they'll still have a meeting once a month at the high school where they can really take care of some business that sometimes we have to do at the high school. So, as I said, our work is not done. So under the box, you can see that this is our future work. And the 3 AIOs and Dr. Ikajaku had an opportunity to meet with the 3 leaders of the PFT membership today, and we talked about this document as well as the future work. And so what we need to focus on now, after I should say January 22nd, considering that you'll approve this, is we need to really spend time on that first bullet, which is really looking at, with this hour early release, what opportunities can we provide for students, for academics, and potentially for some kind of social emotional groups, tutoring groups. So that has to be worked out, but the high school has a semester to work on that and plan for next year. The other piece that we all agreed is that we want to revisit the PLC framework. It's done a little bit different across the board, and so we want to shore that up. We think this is a perfect time to really come back and list the professional expectations and then start afresh. Also, we need to pay attention to what day of the week are we going to have for PLCs. So we know we don't necessarily want a Friday or Monday, so those 2 are kind of off the table, but we want to look at a day that we can collectively agree upon. So obviously, we're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we talked about that today. And lastly, we want to look at the utilization of the time following students' dismissal, and that last bullet, I also removed the 1:30 time there too, so that's another change just for the flexibility piece. And what that last bullet is really speaking to right now in the contractual language, there's a 15 minutes before and after school, and so the question is, where does that fall? Does that fall right at student dismissal, or does that fall at the end of the PLC time? And so we'll have further conversations with a collective bargaining agreement about that. So that's our future work. Also, for those of you that like sequence of time, I included again. I like things listed out, so I thought maybe some of you might as well. And so I listed the timeline. Chris put this together, and so it's a nice picture of where we've been just from the time of recommendation. We promise you we have been working on this prior to November 27th, but we didn't want to include you with all those meetings. Taking your eyes down to the middle of the document, it does say Friday, January 5th, the union meeting to review. That was actually today. So we did have that meeting. I'm here tonight. And then you have the 3 PTO meetings listed. Those have been confirmed. And so we plan on taking this show on the road and then hoping to come back and seek your approval January 22nd. Are there any questions or?
Questions of Dr. Wilson? Mr. Hatler? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
You're welcome.
So just help me for a second. So the you would agree that the proposal as it sits today allows us the flexibility to broach the idea of changing start times?
There are no times listed. So this provides us the flexibility to do several things with times, at least look at options, right?
And am I correct to assume there's a committee being formed to kind of initiate that process?
I believe Carl is leading up a committee starting, if not this week, next week. This week? Okay, so this week, to look at that very piece.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
See, that way I didn't have to ask. Thank you. In the gray box, well, first of all, woof. Holy buckets. That is a lot of work. That is a ton of work. Thank you. And thank you for all the folks who worked with you and all.
It was an effort by many people.
It's an enormous effort. So the monthly after-school professional development meeting may also be used for PLCs, and that's in the gray box. But that's in addition to.
Correct. According to the contract, right, they have like 2 meetings. One's a faculty meeting, and one can be a training, and so it's that one in addition to the school improvement days.
So there'll be a PLC one day each week for 60 minutes, but if there are other times that are going to be, that are contractually happening, like a PD or a SIP day, we're flexible enough. Those can help us out too. Correct.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
I love that. I love it. That agility is going to really help. Kudos to you, student academic support and activities early release time. No more wacky Wednesdays. We love that.
I heard of that. I wasn't around for that, but I did hear of that, yes.
I was there.
Couldn't resist. Which day of the week will be used for PLCs that is most helpful for students, family, and staff? And as I heard it, so it was like, it's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday?
Right.
Would it be, would some of the options be rotating days? You wouldn't have the same day?
I
Do you
believe.
have to have the same, I mean, is it contractual, you have to have the same, how does that work?
I believe that we want to stick with the same day for families, so everybody knows this day. If you move it around, then I think sometimes things get lost in the confusion. So we'll choose a day. We talked about all 3 of those days today, and pros and cons of both. I think it depends on several things. One of the things that we talked about looking and considering is to have further reduction with transportation. We have, I believe it's, Mr. Welsh, help me out, cosmetology, I believe, has a later, they have additional hours at the Career Center, and so we have a bus running for them already, so that would allow us to not add another route. So we might choose that day, but that's an option. We also talked today about choosing the day that the SIP is on, because that's less instructional time that's disrupted, but yet we get a PLC out of that. So there's so many things that we're floating around, so really that's an additional conversation that we want to have with the teachers, and we also want to see what the schedule lays out for us as well.
Well, my guess is that if you pay the attention to it that you have done up until this point, you're going to hit it exactly right on the head.
I hope so.
The meeting for PLC one day each week for 60 minutes, that's locked in. That is to say, and this actually, I'm going to riff a little bit off of what Mr. Adler said, and if there's no start times, instead of ending the day an hour early, maybe 2 half hours, you get your hour out of the week, or do you have to have one solid 60-minute block?
This is built on one solid 60-minute block.
Okay. The other part was the goal. One of the first things I think I heard you mention was the goal was to help balance the educational fund, and terrific to the tune of $750,000. What about student-affiliated outcomes, which is to say, are we also keeping our eye on the ball in terms of we're having PDs, we're having PLCs, and can we then say, because of the PLCs, our students are doing better this way, this way, this way, up to and including graduation rates, et cetera, et cetera.
The direct correlation would be tricky to align precisely. I think it's one variable among many
Yeah.
that can help. We all know that teachers typically work in isolation because of their schedule, because of the nature of the beast, and we believe that teachers collaborating to support planning, instructional practice, assessment design, data analysis.
Yep.
We believe that will contribute to higher student achievement.
Okay, if I may, and I get that, and I'm a program evaluation guy from way back, so I know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know, but I just guessed, yes.
Touche. But just because it's hard doesn't mean we can't try. And just because it's hard doesn't mean that it's okay to take our eye off the ball. You know me by now. And at the end of the day, we are to educate and graduate students. And everything we do has got to be tied, and I'd rather it be tied not tenuously, but as robustly as we possibly can. And if we ask that of the folks that we have contracting coming into our schools, we have to ask it of ourselves. That being said, it's okay that there isn't going to be a direct one-to-one, that it's just statistically would almost be imaginable. But the idea that we can get creative about saying, okay, this is, here's our PLCs, and we're by this, and we don't have, you don't have to gather additional data. Use the data you already have and see if you can see blips in that. And in point of fact, what you might be looking at is not a direct causation, but an interactive effect. That but for these PLCs, we wouldn't be seeing something moving over on this end. And our research guy can help out as well. So I'm sorry, sir, I forgot your name. Yes, sir.
Or Dr. Tees, he's here, yeah.
Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
I think there's some things that we can pull from PLCs and track them, which is what I think I hear you saying. And so I think be mindful of that, and what can we pull out and track is what I think I'm capturing.
And the
So.
framework does have that. I mean, the minutes, they're supposed to take minutes. There's a binder. There are 4 questions that they're really looking at always. What do we want kids to learn? How are they doing? If they're struggling, they should bring their class rosters and,
Right.
you know, so are they learning? Who are the ones? Stuff that we did at Whittier.
Yeah.
You know, and teachers come in and, so there's a nice framework in place. When done with integrity, really would impact significantly achievement.
And I look forward to great things happening because you've got a superb structure in place. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker.
Just a few questions. First of all, I just want to compliment you on the process. I think you guys have been open and listened to the teachers and the other administrators, both mid-level principals and here. And one of the things I was fortunate enough to do, I did a school visit at Richwoods early in the year, and I was able to attend one of their PLCs. It was in math. And the interaction was fabulous. I'm sitting there, I was just really impressed with what they were doing. One of the things I really like about this is that you've expanded it to non-core. Because I saw what good things were going on there. They were talking about how the mathing and how they'd incorporate that into the test, and how do you bridge that? How do you get that in your classroom, regular classroom, so that it fits? But now you're doing it with all teachers, and I think that's just really a mixed blessing that you're doing here. I just appreciate what you guys are trying to do, and I look forward to this in another couple of weeks. So
When the non-core teachers were in that smaller subgroup, they were very vocal about, why not us too?
Exactly.
And so they really were passionate about it, and so it is exciting, I agree.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And kudos to Mr. Willis and Carla also, and Mr. Welch and Dr. Bell and Susan, and actually Chris. Who else was, and Dr. Ike. I mean, the team really, everybody just worked very closely together and made adjustments and listened, and I think people were really tired in the end, and so Dr. Wilson ended up saying, okay, now you take the ball.
Take the new one.
Take it to the end. But I'm just really proud of the team, and you're right, Mr. Walther, we listened and worked with the teachers and made adjustments.
Anyone else have a comment?
Just a small comment. It isn't a small comment, but I appreciate how we all work together to get a job done. And I think we can't say that enough as we move forward to make this school district the best around. How we all have come together to work together to put something like this together. So I just want you to know I appreciate the work that you do, that all of you do, to get a job done. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson.
That was the only presentation we had.
Yes, ma'am. We'll bring community, we'll bring the other one at the next.
Okay, good.
Competency-based next week, the next time around.
On the 22nd.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you. We have now come to the place on our agenda where members of the community who wish to address the board can do so. As you know, we're not at liberty to discuss executive session items. However, if you have a specific item you'd like to discuss and is something personal that you'd like to address, we have a staff person that can work with you. And also, each board member, the board members are accessible outside of these proceedings. If you go to psd150.org, you will find all of our lovely faces there in our email, and you can access us that way. We have, you have 5 minutes, each person has 5 minutes to address the board, and anyone under age 18 may not address the board without having a parent, guardian, teacher, or the consent of the entire board. So the first and only speaker we have today seems Mr. Wes Thompson. You come to the podium and give us your address for our records.
Thank you, President Ross. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Karat. My name is Wes Thompson. My address is 1822 Kingsbury Road in Washington. I'm here tonight for hopefully to get 2 things accomplished for me. One is clarification and approval to substitute teach within District 150. Presently, I do have a sub-license, and I have been denied to substitute because of a adjudicated felony that I had in Florida. I am not a felon, and I have been given a sub-license. I'm also a private investigator, and I would like to come to District 150 to echo Board Member Jackson to help people, to be a good sub, to do the best I can. And I have been going to all the schools around, and I haven't gotten anywhere. Nobody seems to understand that I'm not a felon. So I would like to get clarification from the board attorney, if I may, to see if I can be approved to sub in District 150. Thank you.
There is a process that we have through our Human Resource Department. And
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ike will work with you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
He said he had 2 items.
No, I just had one.
This one.
Is there any other response to audience presentation?
You want me to respond or ask questions?
I don't think you can on this, in this setting now. You don't know the details.
Adjudicated, does it mean it's pulled? It's
Well, that's, I have to ask questions, so
exactly.
we'll leave it
No
for now.
problem.
Yeah, Dr. Ike will do the legwork, Frazier, Dr. Ike will do the legwork for you.
Okay, thanks.
So we'll know exactly what it is. Okay. Any other response? He already left, so.
He's talking to Dr. Ike.
Okay, approval of minutes from December 11th, 2017, and December 18th, 2017. I have a motion.
I move that we adopt the minutes from December 11th, 2017, and December 18th, 2017.
Second.
Dr. Davison Aviles,
Aye.
Mr. Adler,
Aye.
Mr. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Walter,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Ross.
Aye.
7 ayes, motion carried.
Thank you. Information items, proposed expenditures over $2,500. Are there any questions for Mr. Willis or anyone on his team? No, seeing none? Report of request under the Freedom of Information Act and the status of such request. Dr. Karat.
President Ross and board, since our board meeting on December 11th, we received 2 Freedom of Information Act requests. Of these requests, 0 were filled. There were 3 pending requests noted on December 11th. All were filled. We have received 2 requests for this calendar year. Since January 1, we've received 2 requests. So I'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Thank you. The consent agenda, Mr. Adler.
The consent agenda consists of 5 items this evening. Item number 1 is the gifts to the school district. This meeting, $9,505. Year-to-date, $50,601.07. Item number 2 is the payment of bills. Item 3 is the payment for travel. Item 4 is the human resources report. And item 5 is the approval of a contract with Mayan to continue our current program and add additional schools. And that is the entirety of the consent agenda.
Okay, deliberation items. Expulsions with the expulsions.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
We didn't vote on the
We didn't vote on
consent
that.
Yeah, we know
Do I
you're
have a motion? They threatened me. A motion and a second for the consent agenda?
I would think
You
first,
already
right, any items that anyone wanted to pull before we move on it?
Thanks.
All right. I move that we adopt the entire consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll,
Dr.
please.
Davison Aviles,
Promise I didn't have it.
It's not.
Aye.
Mr. Adler,
Aye.
Mr. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Walter,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Ross.
Aye.
7 ayes, motion carried.
Okay. Deliberation agenda. Who's doing that?
Proposed action that expulsion with the expulsion held in abeyance listed on the report dated January 8, 2018 be approved as presented.
Second.
Dr. Davison Aviles,
Aye.
Mr. Adler,
Aye.
Mr. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Walter,
Aye.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mrs. Jackson,
Aye.
Mrs. Ross.
Aye.
7 ayes, motion carried.
Okay, presentation and suggestions by board members. Are there any presentations or suggestions by board members?
I think the board should form a team to go to the Peoria Schoolhouse Open. I issue that as a challenge.
I've got a puppy. Actually, I have a report. Does anybody else have a report?
Well, we haven't got to reports, but that you.
Oh, no, I
that's
can wait.
fine.
I can do mine
That's
after.
next. We're ready.
I just got to complain about
Board
something.
reports. Oh, now, is this a committee report?
No.
Oh, okay, then you can go ahead. Presentations by board.
Him. This is pretty cool. And I'm really honored to do this. Dr. Sharon Day Mulan Karat has been named a superintendent of distinction. Congratulations, Superintendent Dr. Day Mulan Karat, for being named a superintendent of distinction by the Illinois Association of School Administrators. Superintendents of distinction are chosen by their peers in each of the 21 IASA region using 4 criteria: leadership for learning, communication, professionalism, and community involvement. She will be recognized at the IASA Awards Luncheon in May.
Congratulations. All right, so I was going to make my announcement, but it was just made. Thank you, sir.
This is responsible for that.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he must have, did he give it to everybody, or just Dr. Bob and I?
It's the person's fault who last had it. Oh, won't be the first.
All right. Okay, any board reports? Board committee reports? Mr.
Just
Shaw.
want to announce our next meeting. The policy committee will meet Wednesday, January 17th at 9:30.
Okay. Mr. Walker?
The esteemed building committee will meet January 11th at 3:30.
Okay, that's this week. Any other announcements? May I have a motion?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.